Richard Gomez is suing Irina Popova in the amount of $1,370. Mr. Gomez claims Ms. Popova owes him for legal fees after he was falsely arrested at his own house. Ms. Popova says she called the police because she believed there was an intruder and claims Mr. Gomez only has himself to blame for resisting arrest.
In the matter of Richard Gomez versus Irina Popova, you are suing Ms. Popova because you want her to pay your legal fees that you incurred getting arrested in your own house. And you blame your neighbor for having you arrested. You and her don't get along.
We definitely don't. We really don't get along, Your Honor.
And how long have you been neighbors?
We've been neighbors for 3 years.
Okay. And I see she's an older woman and you're a young man. You probably
Yes,
had
Your
too
Honor.
many parties in her. Is that right?
Yeah.
He has too many parties for you?
You know, I've been living in this neighborhood for 10 years, and I didn't have any problem. But when Richard moved in, you know, I swear to God, I have my more gray hair because of his noise and how he treat people, he treat me. You know, it's like unbelievable.
What kind of noise is he making?
He has his cabinet business, and he make this business in his garage. So this noise, like it's a
the saws and all of the machines.
Yes, all this noise, and my bedroom right near his garage. So can you believe I actually have to move my bedroom to the guest bedroom because it was such a crazy noise constantly.
So you talked to him about it?
I tried to talk to him, but you know he's ignoring me, and you know Richard wants to do what Richard wants to do.
All right, Richard. You, according to her, are a pain in her.
Oh.
You know.
I understand.
What's this about making all the noise with the cabinet making?
Well, see, I'm a general contractor. I do construction on the side and do cabinet business part-time.
Okay.
And so I got to saw it in and out, day in, day out. I usually start from like 9 a.m. to about 7 p.m. I usually try to make those time frames perfectly safe. Sometimes I might go over 7 p.m. But when I do, I try to keep it on the low down. And Your Honor, I'm just here because I just want her to pay for my court fees.
Well, tell me what happened. Well, how did you incur these court fees? What happened?
Yes, well, Your Honor, I was coming home from a party, from my girlfriend's birthday party one night, and I happened to stumble upon a rock. I pick up a rock. I pick it up, and I throw it in the window to break it. This was when
you threw a rock in the window to break whose window?
It was my own house, Your Honor.
Why?
I did not have the keys on me, Your Honor.
Why you didn't have the keys?
It was a funny story.
Okay. Let's start there.
I have my cell phone on me. I walk out the door, but I forget my keys and my wallet in hand.
Had you been drinking?
Not at that time. When I got to the party, I have.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
You know, I wake up because I heard some noise and I heard some stumbling. I go to my living room and I saw a man who breaking the Richard house.
We're back with the case of Richard Gomez, who is suing Irina Popova for legal fees.
Had you been drinking?
Not at that time. When I got to the party, I have.
Okay, so you walk out of the house with your cell phone, but you forgot the keys.
Yes, correct.
But you had the car keys, or did you walk?
No, I had an Uber driver.
Okay, so you had someone pick you up.
Yes.
You forgot your house keys, and you left them in the house and didn't go back to get them.
Yes, correct.
Went to somewhere to meet your girlfriend at a party.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and now on your way back home.
I was intoxicated, public intoxication, really, but I was really on my property at that time.
Just because you're on your property, if you're in public, you can't be intoxicated.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go on. What you found out?
So I picked up the rock, and the cops were like, put down the cop. And I was like, I'm just gonna try to get my identification out and show you who I really am. So I threw the rock, hit the window, and it broke it and it shattered.
In the presence of police officers.
Can you repeat that, Your Honor?
In the presence of police officers. You
Yes,
picked
Your
up a
Honor.
rock,
It was
threw it into the window of a house whose house the officers don't have a clue it is.
This was my house, Your Honor.
But they don't know that.
You are correct.
And you were dumb enough to, well, you were drunk, you said. I mean, publicly intoxicated.
It's okay, Your Honor.
Okay. Threw the rock and broke the window in your house.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what were you supposed to do with the police sitting there?
I was wanting to get my identification out so I could show them who I really am.
So you thought you could throw a rock, break a window, then get into that house, climb through that broken window, go in, get your wallet, come back out and show them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh my God, you were more than publicly intoxicated. You were stupid.
He was arguing. Yes, he was arguing, Your Honor.
Are you serious?
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
You know, I wake up because I heard some noise and I heard some stumbling. I go to my living room and I saw a man who breaking the Richard house.
We're back with the case of Richard Gomez, who is suing Irina Popova for legal fees.
So you blame her for you getting arrested?
She's the one who called the cops. And if the cops weren't there, I would have never got arrested.
And if you weren't drunk?
And if I wasn't
The
drunk,
cops, you wouldn't have been throwing that rock in the house.
Yes.
And if you hadn't been forgetful, you wouldn't have forgotten your keys. We could go on and on and on with the ifs.
Yes, sure.
But it all comes right back full circle to you.
yeah.
So how you gonna blame her? And how do you know she called the cops?
I have a copy of the police report. I could give it to you if you want it.
Yes, let me
sure
see.
you go.
Oh, maybe I could just ask her, did you call the police?
Your Honor, the incident what happened with Richard, it was honest mistake. You know, that night, I was already fall asleep. I was home alone, and it was very drizzly at night time. And you know,
Very what?
Drizzly
raining.
drizzle out, yes.
Yes.
And you know, I wake up because I heard some noise and I heard some stumbling. I go to my living room and I saw a man who breaking the Richard house. So
Breaking a window.
breaking into home. I was just wake up and I see the house, Richard house, who was totally dark and totally quiet. What normal for his house.
Which was unusual.
Very unusual, very unusual. So for me, first thing I thought I need to protect his home and my property.
This person that you can't stand, you gonna protect his property?
But you know, when it's robbery occur, you never know what's happened next. And
He may come to your house next, huh?
I'm in living
Right.
close by, so I think you never know what's happened. Maybe next will be me.
That's right.
So I just was worried about me as well.
Okay.
So and
You didn't recognize him?
no, I didn't recognize him. It's for sure.
No light on the side of the house? or where he
No, it was very dark and it was really drizzly out, very dark. So, and you know, I just wake up and you know, I was a little shocked and the first things I have to do, I just logically have to call police. I didn't know it's for sure it wasn't Richard.
Let me see what the police report says. You really were intoxicated. Because
Yes,
a
I
person
really
in their
was.
right mind and thinking clearly wouldn't have done this. The officer's report says when they arrived, they responded to a call of a house break-in. So they don't say who called. They arrived within a minute of the call and they saw a man attempting to jimmy the lock of a house. So were you trying to jimmy the lock
Yes,
first?
I was trying to get the lock and, you know.
So
stick it
now
at
the
a
police
spin
officer sees somebody at a door in the dark, it's drizzling, attempting to jimmy a lock. That's number one. They shined a spotlight on you. You turned around and said, "This is my house, and I've locked myself out."
Yes.
That's not bad. The officer says, "Put your hands up." And you said, "This is my house. I'm trying to go in and get my ID," just like you testified.
Yeah.
The officer says, "Put your hands up." You're like, Then you pick up a rock, just like you said. They broke the window. And broke a window. And then you tripped and fell, according to them.
Yes, yes.
And then they jumped on your behind.
Yes. They said I was resisting arrest.
Yeah. And failure to obey the lawful orders of a police officer. You're jimmying a lot. They have a spotlight on you. They tell you, put your hands up. Come on. Mr. Gomez, you brought this on yourself. These are your consequences that you have to live with. You should be thankful that all you have to live with is a fine and paying attorney's fees of $1,370 as opposed to 4 or 5 days in the jailhouse and much more in attorney's fees, all right?
You're right.
Or that you weren't paying a medical bill for injuries to yourself from struggling with the police officers. So you should walk away paying this $1,370 and saying with your hands up saying, "Thank you, Lord," instead of coming in here asking her to pay for it, all right? So judgment for the defendant.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
You called the cops on me and you enjoyed seeing me arrested.
Richard, I hope you learn your lesson. You need to be more respectful to your neighbors.